Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are getting into the top 10 whiskeys of 2023. But before we do that, as always, please do me that favor, like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us out a ton, but let's get into today's video. So today I'm talking about the best whiskeys of 2023. So these are going to be all of the bottles that came out in 2023 that I got my hands on that made it into the top 5. So let's get right into it, kicking it off with best of 2023 number 10. That is going to be Larceny B523. The Larceny that made me actually think Larceny had a place in my cabinet, my bar, whatever you want to call it. Larceny barrel proofs. These are wheated bourbons from Heaven Hill. Typically, I'm not the biggest fan of them, mostly because I hate wheated bourbons. But this particular one is like cinnamon nut bomb, and I freaking love it. It's so many good breaking spices. Absolutely awesome. That being said, it's still only number 10 because we got a lot of hitters this year. So moving right into number 9. After number 10, we got Barrell Ambera. I waited so much for this bottle this year. This bottle was like one of my most anticipated releases of 2023. I absolutely love Ambera cask finish stuff. So when I knew that Barrell, one of my favorite companies, was coming out with an Ambera cask finished one, I went crazy. So the reason I really like this bottle is it's not insane Ambera cask finished. And that's coming from somebody who admittedly really likes Ambera cask finished stuff. That being said, sometimes it can be overwhelming and it can be too much. Where I really like this. This is a really solid bourbon. You can taste all of the balanced notes in it. And then it has just that little overarching bit of that Barrell Ambera, like cinnamon toast crunchy vibes without just being, oh, that's a cinnamon toast crunch bourbon. Because that's what Ambera typically kind of does to a whiskey. So really like that. Number 9. Moving into number 8, another bottle from Barrell. This one is going to be Barrell Batch 35. This bottle for me feels like a springtime cask strength bourbon, which is typically something I don't really say in springtime. That being said, Barrell, well known for making really solid, really well balanced blends. And this is nothing different than that. This is still that same, well balanced bourbon. This is just more of a sweeter, kind of like fruitier forward release from Barrell. Typically, I'm used to them getting a little bit more of that like stone fruit, ultra aged type stuff because they do use a lot of really high aged stuff, just like they did in this one. But this one, it's very sweet and very fruit forward, making a fantastic cask strength release for the spring. So that one was number 8 for us. Let's go ahead and get into number 7 because that's the number that comes after 8. Number 7 on my list is going to be Doc Swinson's. Our first Doc Swinson's on this list, and this is El Cuerpo. This is blended MGP, and just like I've been talking about Barrell, Doc Swinson's, they do another fantastic job of blending MGP as well. They are one of the best workhorses, them and Barrell. I mean, in case you're not going to realize this, 2023 for me was kind of a blended MGP year. I fell in love with a lot of MGP juice I found, and this one is no other. This is going to be MGP finished in Pedro Jimenez sherry cask, and this is an absolute rock star of a whiskey. Everything you really like out of an MGP bottle, but very like stone fruity, leathery, like really well deep down dark in that sherry finished avenue. Absolutely fantastic. After that though, we are getting into Texas. We have our first Texas whiskey, also subsequently the only Texas whiskey on this list, and this one made it amongst a bunch of freaking hitters because it is a rock star. This is Ironroot Icarus. I freaking love Ironroot, as you know. Icarus, this is going to be their corn whiskey. Really like their typical corn whiskey. Really like their corn hubris whiskey, and that's what this is, but with a special fun twist. So this is going to be their corn whiskey, their straight corn whiskey, but this is going to be finished in port and peated casks. And I'm not the biggest fan of peated whiskeys. Not at all. Like, I like them sometimes, but peat usually is a bit of a turnoff for me. The reason I really like this bottle is because you get all of those dark blue fruits that you do from like a port finish whiskey, but you also get a little bit of smoke, and it creates this really fun like sweet corn, dark fruit, smokiness flavor. It's a really, really fun ride. Probably one of the more interesting pours I've had this year. And up next, the bottle that sent me down the rabbit hole to try to find as much Ambera cask finish stuff as possible. Doc Swinson's Bossa Nova. I love this bottle. I freaking love this bottle. I've already gone through 2. I've so far bought 4. I absolutely love Doc Swinson's. I love this stuff. This is fantastic. Ambera cask finish. Just like I said with that Barrell product, except for this one, it just full sends it. It full sends it. It takes a hard left turn into that cinnamon toast crunch. This is fantastic MGP whiskey with a really loud, in-your-face cinnamon toast crunch turn. So if you like that whole Ambera cask finish style, then you're really, really going to like that bottle. I obviously did. That's why it made it so high on my freaking list. But if you don't, I would also say stay away from that. But again, this is my top 10 list, so take it as you will. And then moving on to the last MGP blended bottle out there, and that is going to be Barrell Batch 34. This bottle turned me on to everything that Barrell has to offer in a different way than I previously thought. I thought Barrell was the king of blending in finished stuff. I was like, is their bourbon worth it? I never really bought a bottle. They sent me a sample. I ended up going out of my way to buy this bottle after I received the sample because this is a freaking rock star. Just like everything else they do, fantastically blended. But the reason I absolutely love this one, and it's a rock star for me, is because it goes so down that like that earthy, that dark, that spicy side, and I freaking love that in a bourbon. This is a total wintertime bourbon. And after that one, the only Elijah Craig barrel proof I was able to get this year, B523, the controversial one, the one that was 11 and a half months old, the first Elijah Craig to not be 12-year-old age stated. I still freaking love this bottle. I don't know where all the hate's coming from. I think this is another fantastic Elijah Craig barrel proof. Is it as good as some of the ones in the past? No, but it still made it, you know what, my top 3? I freaking love this bottle. And I did all this blind in case if I didn't mention that. So this stuff, just, it's fantastic. I mean, it is a peanut butter cup with chocolate, oak. It's fantastic. All those nutty, spicy, dark flavors I absolutely love. Really, really well done. After that one, we are in the last 2. Last one on my list, or before we get into the last one on my list, Little Book. Little Book Chapter 7. This is my Chapter 7. Yeah, yes. This is the first Little Book offering I have bought. I've always been kind of turned off. You know, I bought another Booker's 2023. It didn't even make it in the top 15. Like it got clapped. I'm not the biggest fan of things from Beam that come in that box. That being said, I found this at my local liquor store for like $100. So I was like, meh, when in Rome, I guess I'll buy it because I know this is super allocated. It's hard to find. Like I read a few reviews on it. People said they really liked it. So I bought it. Didn't think it was going to make it this high in this list. This is beautiful. Beautiful. It's really well balanced. It's nuancical. Like there's a lot of stuff going on because it's a blend of a massive, ridiculous amount of things. I'm not going to get into it because that's going to take far too long, but I love that bottle. I think it tastes well. You get all those like you get some malty notes, you get some spicy notes from the rye, you get some sweet notes from the bourbon. Like you get everything you want out of basically any whiskey, but the beautiful thing is it's all well blended together so it doesn't taste like out of whack at the same time. Last, not least, actually the best bottle I've had this year, which albeit, you know, a little bit of subjectivity here. This was the only bottle that I 100% pulled out outside of the Ironroot Icarus, I guess. So those 2 bottles were the ones I pulled out and I was like, I know 100% what this bottle is because this is the only malt that made it this high in this list for a good reason. This is going to be Westward Milestone. This is their $250 special release commemorating them, you know, being around for a long time. What an incredible bottle. Also, I should also add this. This one is only 43% ABV. So for someone who's such a proof whore, this is such an incredible bottle. This is all the things I love about Westward, just cranked up to 11. It's all those kind of those like peach, stone fruity, malty, chocolatey espresso. Like this is the pinnacle of American single malt, which is my favorite subcategory of whiskey. Just really, really well done. I do question if it was worth $250, but that's just because I've never spent over $150 on a bottle of whiskey. So take that as you will. Or no, I guess $175 for the Wild Turkey Bib. But either which way, a total freaking rock star of a bottle, making it #1 on the best whiskeys of 2023. So this was my list of best whiskeys from 2023. Let me know down below what you thought about this video. You know, like, comment, subscribe, leave some comments. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought about the list of whiskeys I made. Also, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and the Patreon. Links for everything down there below. That's a wrap for today's video. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you later.